We are going to attempt to do a vlog. Now I say attempt because you could probably hear there's a noisy bike coming up the road. So yeah, we're going to attempt to do a vlog this week. I am actually quite late in starting it. It's a Thursday and usually I like to start my vlogs by at least Wednesday. But it is Thursday, so depending how things go, I might take it through to Monday and show you some of the things we are getting up to in the house as well. But we'll see how things go. This shop is a little bit harder to do the filming in. With my old shop, I used to be able to shut the door and still actually look open enough that people could come in, but it meant I could actually do some filming and talk to you without as much street noise coming through. It's a little bit harder with this one because I'm right on that front, and I don't actually have anywhere on my door to hang an open close sign, so it's a little bit harder for people to tell if I'm open, if the glass door is shut. So I do like to keep my glass door open in this shop where possible. So we'll see how we actually go with doing some filming. I have got a fair bit of stuff that I need to do this week. I have pretty much got most of my Halloween stuff done. There's still a couple of things I need to make. So one of the things we'll be doing today is making some lip balm, including the Halloween and the Christmas lip balms. I do have all my Christmas soaps that I need to tidy up over on the bench there. And I've started doing the Advent calendars as well. So I've got a couple of things over there which need to go into one of my boxes. I didn't really share much of these last year because I was keeping it secret for people who were ordering the box and they didn't get to see much social media footage of my advent calendar, but they are going to be the same this year. Last year I had these boxes printed up. I did all the design myself, went for this real Aussie Christmas sort of theme, had all these boxes printed up, and I got enough to get the price down low. I actually had enough to do 2 years worth of advent calendar. Now, because things have just been so busy this year and lots of changes, I wasn't able to sit and redesign so we could have alternate years. So it's going to be the same sort of design again that you can see. We've got Santa having an outdoor picnic or backyard picnic. So I've got a couple of things that I can start boxing up for this year's advent calendar. Got things to make. What else? I actually have 2 other soaps I want to try and make today for Christmas. I have done my main 4 soaps for Christmas. They have all been filmed, but the next 2 I'm going to do, they're going to be very simple soaps. I try and have a mix of pricing on my soaps. I have like the limited edition non-decorative soaps, which are the cheapest to buy, going up into my decorative ones, which are the most expensive. So I've done the decorative and the ones with that little bit of extra, so a bit of exfoliating, but I want to make a couple that are going to be in that lower price range as well. And I'm going to make them but not film them because they're just going to be standard, so you'll get to see them on here. And while I do that, I want to test out a new tripod that I have bought. As if you've been watching any of the soap making videos, I've been trying a camera angle. I basically put the camera over here on this side and then have it so you can see, and I put it on that bench so it doesn't wobble when I'm doing my stick blending. But a few people have said that you've really missed that sort of front on footage, and as you can see with where I've got the mica rack, there is nowhere to put the camera in front of me. It's just not going to work. I am saving up for a new camera. I really want one of these, I think they're DJI something 3. It's just gone out of my head. A Pocket 3. I really want one of those, and they're these tiny little cameras which I will then be able to mount up there, but I can't mount my big camcorder. So I have been looking for options. My overhead tripod. There is just not enough room to sit it on that bench to get the overhead shot. But I did find this tripod on Amazon, which I'll set up and I'll test it out. I'll also leave links to it down in the description box and also in my Amazon shop store, which there are always links to as well. So if anyone else is interested in this style of tripod, you can go and check it out. It wasn't bad for me when I got it. I did get it on a limited offer price of about $66, so I don't know how much it is meant to be normally, but I'm going to test it out, see what it's like, and then see if you guys are interested in it. As I said, there'll be links, and hopefully it will allow me to do a few more of those down shots that you all like viewing on the camera. But I'm going to do that with these two soaps we're going to make today. Anyhow, it is 9 o'clock. I need to go and get my doors open, get this day started. And as I said, we're going to make these soaps and we're going to hopefully make some lip balms today, and I need to tidy up my Christmas soaps. So let's get on to it and see how a vlog actually turns out for the store. And as we go through the week, I'll give you some updates on the store as well. It's been a month now since I moved in, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But I'll give you more on that shortly. I've got to go get that door open. So you can see I have made the 2 extra soaps that I want to do. This is a gold frankincense and myrrh soap, and I was really struggling to get the nice dark blue, but I can see it is gelling inside and we're getting some darker and lighter blues there. We'll see what happens. And all these little pieces on here, these are actually frankincense, and for anyone that does do things like incense and that sort of thing, they can actually take these little pieces of frankincense off and you put them onto a hot charcoal, and then you can actually melt it down and get that aroma from off them. So it's a little bonus with that. that. So it did move a bit quicker on me than what I was anticipating, but hopefully we got some swirls because it didn't start to thicken up till we got to the top. This one here is a vintage holiday fragrance, and I used it last year and it did accelerate on me. So this year I decided that I'd only add the fragrance into the green so I could swirl the other green and the white, and then it stayed nice and fluid. You just can never win. But you did see I did 2 different angles with the new tripod. I'm very, very impressed with it. Up on the top here there is another one of the 1/4 inch attachments, so you can put like a light, or you can put the camera on there and use it as a tripod. And then this little boom arm bit here, you can put it anywhere along this pole on here, and then it kind of just moves in and out to wherever you want it. You're meant to tighten these up in between once you've got it in place, but I decided not to tighten it, just leave it so I could still actually move it around a little bit. And then you've got the 1/4 inch screw on here to put the camera or whatever it is that you're using, and then you can move this around so the camera can point, you know, going down, up, however you want it to go. Pretty impressed with it. I did try the 2 different angles. I must admit I really struggled with the overhead shot, which was unusual because when I first started recording in the soap studio in the old house, I used to have the overshot angle, and I actually had a lot less room because I had the tripod over where I was working, so I had to avoid hitting the tripod. But this time around I don't know, I really struggled with it being up there, and I was trying not to block as I was pouring the pots of soap and things like that. So that's the kind of angle I really want to try and work at, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I then tried the other angle where I actually put it over on this left hand side and kind of had it not quite the same angle that I had with some of the other videos you would have seen in the thing. I was trying to get it at an angle but almost front on so you could see a little bit more, and I actually was able to work with that a lot better than having it pointing down. But I'm sure if I have the camera pointing down I'll eventually get used to that as well. So it's definitely going to be a work in progress, but I'm really happy with that tripod, and anyone who is actually looking to have something with that little bit of flexibility when you're recording, I highly recommend that. And as I said, I will actually leave links down in the description box, and I will put it into my Amazon shop store as well, so you can go and have a look at it in there and see if it's something that's going to work for you. Just keep in mind that they're going to be Australian links, but hopefully it will also show you something. I'll see if I can find something similar on the American Amazon, but you'll be able to find it on some of the other Amazons that are out there as well. Well, now that I've got those soaps done, next thing I need to do is make the lip balms. I'm going to make 3 Halloween flavors, 3 Christmas. I've got 2 that need to be topped up on my shelf, and then I'm also going to do the advent calendar lip balms. So I've got a total of 180 to make. So first thing I'm going to do is put all of my tubes into my my trays here. We'll go and get the ingredients and we'll start making those. it's 4 o'clock. It is time for me to go home. I've just brought everything in. It has got a bit dark and gloomy out there, so I'm hoping it's going to be an alright drive home. Anyhow, I actually, on my way home, I have to stop and pick something up. I got a phone call to say that my little trolley cart thing has arrived, so I can go and pick it up. We've got a fire pit at home, and at the moment we've currently got the wheelbarrow full of all of the chopped up wood and stuff, which means then we can't use the wheelbarrow around the house. So I've actually ordered a cart trolley thing to put all the firewood in, and had to wait for it to be delivered, and I got a phone call to say that it's there, so I'm going to pick that up on the way home. I got pretty much everything done I wanted to do today. We've got the soaps done, I got the lip balms done. I didn't get my candles packed away, but I will do that tomorrow. I've just spent the afternoon working on some Patreon stuff. As I said, when I set up this counter over here, I was very aware of wanting to be able to sit at the counter comfortably and actually work at it, and it works so well. I've also had quite a few people coming in today. It's just been absolutely wonderful, but I'll go more into that tomorrow, because I really need to get on my way home so I can go and pick up my new firewood trolley. Otherwise I'll have to wait till tomorrow. I have to pick it up from a Mitre 10, but it's just like one of those little country Mitre 10s, so it's not very big, so I don't want them having to hang on to my parcel for any longer than they have to. But it has been a good day. I'm going to head home, and hopefully I'm going to beat this rain as well. So I will see you tomorrow, and I'll give you a bit of an update on some of the things we've done in the shop as well. Good morning. It is so miserable out there today. When I left the shop yesterday, it was trying to rain, but by the time I got home there was no sort of real sight of rain. But it did start raining during the night. It was a little bit rainy this morning as well. So it's going to be really interesting. It's the first sort of day that I've had down here where it is going to be dull and grey. So it'll be interesting to see what that does in terms of bringing people out. When I was in Cleveland, a dull, grey, miserable day meant I saw absolutely nobody. But hopefully it might mean up here that people will actually come into the shops. Being Friday and the last sort of weekday of the school holidays, I am hoping it is going to be busy. We'll just wait and see. One of the really, really positive things about having moved here, it really has done what we wanted it to do. There were times in the Cleveland shop where I would have days where I wouldn't see anyone. I think the worst day I had, so I'm open 5 days a week, and the worst day I had in Cleveland, I had 3 days running, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where I didn't have a single customer come into the shop, not even just to look, let alone buy. And that wasn't unusual. I would have at least 1 day a week where I wouldn't see a single customer come into the shop, and often I would get 2 days a week with no customers. But since moving up here, there has not been a single day where I have not had at least one, if not two customers come into the shop. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to remember that I have left behind 10 years worth, well, it's actually 12 years because that's how long I've been going, but in the Redlands, I really focused on the last 10 years of building a customer base, and I've left all that behind. I'm starting off in a brand new area where I don't have that customer base, and there are other candle makers in the area, so I've really got to build up my name. So to be getting at least 2 customers every day, that's huge to me, especially being a new shop and trying to build that customer base again. So although it doesn't sound like a lot, it really is, and I'm hoping, and that's just in the first month of being here. Usually it's a lot more than 2 customers a day. I am getting, 5-6 customers a day, which is absolutely brilliant. But there have been a couple of days where I have only had 1 or 2 customers come in, but that is still better than nothing. So I'm hoping that by the time we get into 6 months, that sort of base will be really building up. But it really has done what I wanted it to. I'm a lot busier in the actual shop than I ever have been in Cleveland, so that's been really, really good. Really positive. Online's been a little bit slower at the moment. I don't know if that's because we're leading up into Christmas, because times are still really tough. I don't know. I'm trying to work on how to do some of that stuff, but we'll get there again. Things are definitely improving. I need to go and get my computer all set up, and I wanted to show you a couple of the things I have actually changed in the shop since we did the vlog. But let me get this little bit of the bench cleared off first. Alright, so not a lot's actually changed out in the back since I actually did the vlog. I still don't have a dishwasher out there. I'm going to have to pay a plumber to come in and do it for me, and I just know that because it's such a simple job, they're going to charge me a fortune. That's just the way it goes. When it's a really simple job, because they don't want to come out and do such a small job at someone's place, they charge you so much more than if they were actually coming out to do a big job, which they seem to think is worth their time to come out to do. So I've been putting it off. I probably won't be able to do it until the new year, just because this time of year is always really expensive with getting Christmas stock in, Halloween stock, paying all my subscriptions, my insurances and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to have to leave it a couple more months and just have to keep doing hand washing up, which will make me appreciate the dishwasher once it goes back in out the back. But I did make a couple of very small changes in my sort of working area. So one of the things I've really missed in this sort of area are drawers. The drawers just make it so much more easier to store things in, so things don't actually get lost down the back of shelves. I can't remember if I showed these in the setting up vlog. These were from off of Kmart, and these drawers have been really good, but these are new since I did the vlog. These are little drawers that I've had from off of Amazon, and again I'll leave links as well as put them in my Amazon store for storage solutions. They don't go all the way down to the back, but it has meant I can pop things on the drawer and then pull them out easily, and I'm not losing things down the back of the shelves. I also put one on top of this one just to make it easier to get all of the little rolls and things like that out of there. I upgraded this bench into a stainless steel one, and it has actually made it so much easier. I said in the vlog I had that slightly longer lower bench that I had all the tanks sitting on, but because it was so much lower, I was actually bending down and getting backache when actually doing the candles. So I've now got the stainless steel table. It's a little bit shorter, which meant that I actually couldn't get my two drawers under there with the way it's all set up. So I've got one under there, and then I put the other one over there, which gave me a little bit of extra space, but it really has helped. It's a little bit harder having the tanks up higher trying to fill them, but I'm working around that. It does give me so much more space though, because I can actually now kind of sit my scale halfway along. I'm not bending over. It's just so much better to have that stainless steel top in there. I also have another one of these drawers under here, so I can actually pull my glass jars out and get to them, so that there's less chance of me actually breaking them when I'm leaning in and, leaning in and pulling jars out and pulling them off the front. So that is another little drawer in there. And this morning you just saw I bought down a new office chair. It's actually not new. This is the chair I had in the shed in the old house. It's actually a much higher gas lift on this chair, designed for higher benches, and it was at home, but we've got nowhere to use it because that's as low as it actually goes, so I couldn't use it at any of the desks at home. Now, the last few times I've been sitting at that counter, it's been really good that I can actually sit there, get my knees under it and start to do some work. And I've been doing a bit of my admin work down here at the shop, which has saved me time at home. But I've noticed I've had really sore back very sore butt from off that wooden chair, and all the back of my legs get quite sore as well. The way the chair's designed, it's got this slight little lean back, so it's meant to be a bar chair, so when you're sitting in it, you're meant to be able to relax. So when I'm working on it, I'm actually sitting on the very edge of the chair, and it's putting so much stress on my lower back and legs. And after last night, I got home and I was just so sore from having sat in the chair for the couple of hours doing my Patreon work. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I have got this really comfortable office chair at home that's doing absolutely nothing. And then I'm sitting on a really uncomfortable chair down here. So I decided I would bring it down. The only reason I never used that chair in the old shop was because it got in the way. My counter was right next to my melt tanks, so the chair was right next to them. I would have to, move the chair out the way. And that chair isn't collapsible like my other one. But in this shop, because that's actually tucked away in the corner, the chair isn't gonna get in the way. So it came down with me today. And hopefully that means when I'm sitting at that chair, it's gonna be a little bit more comfortable. The good thing is it also goes up higher. So I should be able to put that up a bit higher so people can actually see me behind the computer when they come in. Sometimes people come in and I say hello and I frighten the living daylights out of them because they've not seen me. But this way I can actually see over the top of the counter, see what's going on and stuff like that. So absolute bonus. Anyway, it is almost 9 o'clock. We'll see what the day is going to bring us with it being so grey and miserable. I do have plenty to keep me busy. We're going to get these soaps cut. I've got these lip balms to do up. These are going to be my advent calendar ones. We've got the Halloween, Christmas and the top up. So I need to design labels for these ones in here and get all the others packaged up too. I also need to package up these candles. I need to make some labels for those, get them packaged up, ready to go into the advent boxes. And then I'm sure we'll find some other things to do as well. But for now, I'm going to go and get that. Oh, that's really bright. We're going to go and get that door open and we'll see what today brings us. Alright, so I thought yesterday was a dull, grey, miserable day. You should see today. I actually woke up this morning, it was beautiful blue skies, it was really sunny, and we're sitting there and I'd be said, oh, there's meant to be rain today. And I said, well, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. And we were sitting there and it got a bit closer to 7 o'clock and I said, oh, it's raining. Still beautiful blue skies and there's a gorgeous, gorgeous rainbow. I'd left the camera in the shop so I couldn't even get a picture of it, but this gorgeous rainbow appeared. And then all of a sudden the clouds came in, it's windy, it's cold. Now I say it's cold, it's about 15 degrees at the moment, which I know so many of you are going to say, that's not cold, we get colder. But considering 2 days ago it was 30 degrees and today it's 15, that is cold. It is yeah, a miserable day. But you know what, yesterday I said it was all dull grey and overcast, and we had a really good day in here. I know I didn't do a lot of filming. In between having customers coming in, I was doing up all the labelling of my lip balms. I've started to label up parts of the advent calendar. So I actually got a lot done, had a lot of people coming through, which was absolutely brilliant. And then time just kind of got away from me and I headed home. Last night, hubby and I went out to markets and had some dinner out as well, which has been so good. Our lifestyle has really improved since moving here. I have mentioned in one of the vlogs that I did just how much it has changed. I mentioned that hubby is now working for the Crocodile Hunter Lodge, which is part of Australia Zoo, and he's basically got set shifts, 8 till 4. There is one day where he does something slightly different because the guy that he works with actually wants to have the later shift, so hubby does the earlier shift. But it means that we have got to see each other every single day. I've been able to say to him, oh, on this night there's such and such happening, let's do this, or how about on this night we invite your sister around for dinner, or we do lunch with your mum. It's just been so good that we have finally been able to live a life where we don't have to wait for a roster to come out and then have it changed, and it's just been so good. So last night I said to hubby, there's the Twilight Markets down on the Esplanade, which basically if you come out my shop, 20 metres up the road, turn right and head straight down that bit of road. The markets were literally there, and I said I want to have a look and see how busy it is, whether it's actually me worth opening the shop up if this bit of the street's busy on those nights. Can I get some extra customers? So we came in and we had a look and we had a bit of a wait to see what was going on. It's like, no, it's not worth opening up at night time. We had a wander around the markets. It was so super duper busy, and the plan was to have something to eat down there, but it was just too busy for me. I enjoyed looking at all the bits and pieces, but there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and I said to my husband, there's actually another place here in Caloundra I've heard so many good things about. I want to go there for dinner, and it's called Thirsty Beaver. If you are in Caloundra and you like ribs, oh my god, they have to have been the best ribs I have ever had. They just literally, you didn't even need to chew the meat, it just melted in your mouth. It was just so nice. We did markets and dinner, went back home and played with Peppa for a little bit, and yes, I will show you some footage of Peppa over the next couple of days as well, because I know I went to do a live for my patrons and they all went, can we see Peppa? So I will bring Peppa on the camera as well. So yeah, we had a really lovely night, and it's just been, we've been able to do lots of things like that. We've been able to see, have dinner with his sister on a couple of nights, and our niece and nephews. It's just been such a good change to our life moving up here, and the shop is going really well too. Speaking of which, it is now 9 o'clock, so I need to go and get my doors open. I'm going to finish packaging up the candles today. We're going to shrink wrap the lip balms, and then I actually need to work on my Halloween body scrubs that are coming out. I'm just waiting on the labels to be delivered. I've actually sent them off to be professionally printed. They were going to cost the same as me printing them, but I actually didn't have enough label paper in the size I needed to print them, and I just decided I'm going to send them off and have someone else print them for me this time, because I was after a very specific look, which my printer just can't quite get that look on them. So they should be with me next week, but then I'm cutting it really fine for Halloween. So I'm thinking today what I'm going to do is actually make up the body scrubs that are going to be in the Halloween body scrub collection and put them into a container, and then next week when I've got the labels I can put them into the pouches. So that's another thing we're going to do today. But let's go and get that door open, and hopefully it will be a busy day. It is Saturday. A lot of people up here will probably be heading back home either today or tomorrow. It's the end of the Queensland school holidays for public schools, so I'm not expecting it to be as busy today as what it was yesterday, but you never know. You really never know how things go, so let's get it open for the day. So So that's a positive start to the day. I've just taken all the signs in my car out the front. I was just sweeping up the leaves that kind of gather from the tree that's out the front of the shop here, and I had my first customer walk in. So really happy with that. I think it will be a good day. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get on to wrapping these candles first so we can get them out of the way.
Okay, so I have just finished making up all of the Halloween scrubs, got them in their containers. We've got 3 of them here. A couple of reasons I've done them and put them into the container. One, it's going to actually save me time next week when I get the labels. I can just put these straight into the pouches, label them up, and they're going to be ready because I'm really cutting it fine at the moment. The other reason is I actually want to take some photos over the weekend, so I'm going to take a little bit of this scrub home, and I'll also take home a blank pouch and then kind of mock photo my labels onto it. You know how they do those mock design things, you have a blank and then you put your labels on. I'm trying to work out how to do that, so that's why I've got all of that done up now. It's just going to save me so much time. Really interesting thing is I did the pumpkin spice that I've done in a soap. I released the video and so I just don't like the smell. I've put it into one of these body scrubs and now it's with all that sugar. The sugar has really sweetened the fragrance up and it's taken that real spice smell out of it, and it actually smells really good in the body scrub. So hopefully that one sells really well, because I now like it in that. Still don't like it in the soap. I also did a few of these little pouches here. These have just over 100 grams of body scrub in them, and these will be going out to my Pamper Club members. They'll just be randomly picked out of the ones that I've made. So sorry guys, you can't request which scent that you want. It will just be randomly put in there for you. So that's for all my Pamper Club members who order in October. So really pleased with how they've come up, and that's another reason I wanted to get these done, because October is only next week and I need to let them know what their actual specials are. So that's another reason for doing them up, so I can actually get my Pamper Club stuff done, photographed and sent out from the 1st of October. What have I got to do now? We've only got about half an hour until closing time. While I was making the scrubs, I had quite a large order come in. We've got quite a few candles and melts in here to go out, so I'm actually going to get on to wrapping these up. And I do now actually need to make some candles. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow when I come back into the shop, I'm going to put the wax tank on, and I'm going to be making some candles and hopefully getting some of that smell wafting out into the street and bringing some of those market people this way with all those lovely smells from candles, especially since they are some quite popular ones. We've got the black raspberry vanilla and also normal vanilla. They're always quite popular, so getting those smells going down the street should be a really good thing. Also some bamboo and white lily. Anyway, I'm going to go and get this order packed up, and then it'll be time for me to head home. It's still really dull grey, and it's a really fine mist of rain out there. It has frightened everybody off. The street is so quiet. Well, actually it's not quiet. You can probably hear all the cars going up and down, but there's hardly anyone walking in the street, so it's very quiet out there. So I'm going to get this done and then head off home, and hopefully it won't be too bad a drive home. I didn't think I was going to make it to the shop today. It is another dull grey day out there. It's been raining all night, and it's been super windy, especially at home. We actually had to take down the wind chimes and stuff because they were rattling so much. There was no way we were going to get to sleep with them going. But it is actually still quite windy at home this morning. It's not as bad here in Caloundra, but the reason I almost didn't make it is because the side gate that goes up to my she shed where my car is parked is actually quite large, and when it's windy, when you go to open it, if the wind knocks it, it shuts, and it took me 4 attempts to get this gate open this morning. I ended up on the 3rd attempt. I'm thinking, okay, if I can't get it open this time, I might not be able to go into the shop today. So I ended up standing out in the rain, holding the one side of the gate, so as it was opening, I was just very gently pushing on it, just to give it a bit of counterweight, so when the wind pushed from the other side, there was enough, you know, weight this side pushing it open. And I did actually manage to get it open on that 4th attempt, but it's like, oh, this is stupid. We did actually speak to the people about it, and they said it is just purely the size of the gate. There's not much we can actually do. It's always going to be sort of a thing that we're going to have to watch. So I don't know if we can actually put some sort of counterweight on the end of it, or if it will just be on windy days I have to stand there while the gate's opening to make sure it opens all the way. But we made it down here. I wasn't sure if the markets would be on today, but they actually are. I feel so sorry for the market people out there. You can see the tents blowing, and I kind of just remember that anxiety I used to get on windy days with the gazebos billowing, and you're trying to make sure that your stall doesn't take off while watching customers. And you can be, I used to find I could be hanging onto my tent trying to pick things up off the floor, and someone would come along and go, can you tell me more about this? It's like, yeah, sure. Like, they were just so completely and utterly oblivious to the stresses that you're going through trying to make sure that your stall doesn't blow away in the wind. I do feel sorry for the people out there, but I'm glad that the markets are on, because it's always such a blow to people when the markets aren't on, because that's your income. So the markets are on. There's a few people I can see walking up and down, so I'm still going to go ahead with my plan to make candles this morning. I did forget to bring wax down, so I won't be able to make much because I know there's not much left in my tank. I was meant to bring it, just completely forgot. But I will make a few candles to try and get that smell wafting out there. Other than the candles, there really isn't much I really need to do today. So what I'll probably end up doing is, in between making those candles, I will sit at the computer and do a lot of my scheduling for this week, or my social media scheduling, to get that out the way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've still got 15 minutes until the shop needs to open. It was a really good trip in today. I was actually quite surprised at how good the trip home yesterday was, and how good it was coming in today. It is the very last day of the school holidays, so I was expecting there to be a lot of traffic on the road yesterday, which there just wasn't. So getting home was not, in fact, it was one of my quickest trips home yesterday. So that was, I got all the lights on green and just sailed through, no one harassing me on the road. So it was a really nice trip home. And then coming in this morning, I was expecting there to be all the ones that kind of leave really early. You tend to find with holiday traffic, people either leave really, really early in the morning or really late in the afternoon. And there's kind of that little bit in the middle where it's nice and easy to travel. But it just seemed that yesterday there was hardly any cars on the road, and hardly any this morning. So hopefully this afternoon's trip home will also be nice. We've only got a short day in here today. I changed my hours a little bit from that sort of first opening week. One of the things, I need to go and do some stuff over here, so let's go over here. So one of the things that became apparent to me when it was too late, when I was at the Cleveland shop, was that I basically worked my hours around a lot of the other shops in town, based on whether customers were there and that sort of thing. And I ended up there were 3 days in the week where we did 9 till 4, and then the weekends, both Saturday and Sundays, were very different hours. So when people said to me, what time are you open till? It was very hard to actually, because people wanted to know all your opening hours, and I could say go and check it out on Google or the website or wherever else, but people don't like doing that. They like to have the answers given to them. Very few people these days like to actually go and look for information themselves. And you know, when you're asking the shopkeeper something like that, you do expect them to give you an answer. I ended up actually printing the hours up to give to people because it was just easier. But when I moved into this shop, I decided that I wanted my hours to be easier to tell people. So basically I went 9 till 4 Wednesday through to Saturday. It is really quiet in the afternoon on Saturday. I don't need to stay open till 4, but I just don't want to get back into that whole different hour thing, so I've left it. And initially Sunday I was going to do 8:30 till 1, so I got that extra half hour with the market. But then I just decided, once I'd opened up, I did the first Sunday 8:30, and it just wasn't really worth opening at 8:30 at the moment, so I actually changed it back till 9 till 1. Doesn't sound like a lot, half an hour difference, but it actually does make a big difference to how much you can get done in the day. But it was also now just really easy for me to say I open at 9 o'clock every day, close at 4, except for on Sunday where we close at 1, or I can just say we're 9 till 4, you know, Wednesday through to Saturday, and 9 till 1 on a Sunday. And people just seem to remember that, okay, they always open at 9 o'clock, and it's only Sunday they shut early. So it's made it so much easier time-wise. I am contemplating staying open on a Sunday. At the moment it is quite quiet on Sundays, but then you know what, I don't have that customer base yet, so it might just be a bit of staying open while I can. Hopefully once we get to Christmas and I've got all the Christmas stuff out, and even the Halloween stuff, that's when the locals will start to find me, and Sundays actually might pick up. I have contemplated doing Tuesday to Saturday and not open on Sunday, but I said to hubby, I think what we need to do is just hang out all through Christmas, up until the end of the Christmas school holidays, and then make a decision from there whether it actually is worth opening on a Sunday here.
we'll wait and see. It's all something we just have to work with. It's only been a month, and as I said, it's already been such a positive for me in this shop. With only being here a month, I am still making more than what I was making in Cleveland, so really happy with that. For only being, for my first month, I've made more than what I was making in Cleveland, so definitely has been good for me. But it is also, it does feel like I've gone backwards a lot because I'm trying to build up that customer base again, but we will get there. If anything you want to make happen, you can make happen, really. It's just a matter of being patient and being realistic as well. Alright, we're going to get these jars polished up. Whenever I get my jars, I always spray a little bit of rubbing alcohol in them and then clean the bottoms of them, and that just makes sure that the glue can stick to the glass. I don't know what comes out of the factory on these jars, but if you don't clean the bottom of these jars first, whether you use hot glue gun or stick 'em, little foam pad sticker things, they don't stick. Whatever the coating is on them, they do not stick. And for safety, you really do need to have your wicks attached to the bottom of your jars to make sure that they don't move when being burned. But I do find having to clean them first is what removes that coating, so we can actually put our wicks in. So I'm going to get all of these jars wicked up. I might actually then get myself a drink, and we'll open up the door and see how things go today. Alright, I'm home. As you can see, it's turned into an absolutely glorious afternoon. The sun came out about 11 o'clock today and it just got really nice and bright and sunny. All the rain clouds have blown away. It's got up to about 27 degrees. Yes, I'm still in a jumper because it's still quite cool in the air, even though the sun's really warm. I've got home, and what we like to do when we get home, because we leave Peppa alone so much during the day, I think there's there's 4 days where she's actually home by herself all day. So when we get up in the morning and when we come home at night, we always have a really good play with her. So here she is. She's grown a fair bit since you guys saw her last on the camera, but she actually really hasn't grown as much as we were thinking or had been told she was going to grow. We were told that she was going to be a really big dog at about 35 kilos. And you know, she'll be 5 months old next week. So she's still got a fair bit of time to grow into whatever she's going to be. But by this sort of age with Lucy, she was already much bigger, and this purple collar that is on her, that's the same collar that we bought when we first bought her home. So she really isn't growing quite as quick as everyone was thinking she might do. But she is so mischievous. She is a right little character. She loves to talk, and she has these real mad attacks at night time where she goes bouncing around off the sofa, and she has us in stitches. And 9 times out of 10 we actually don't have the phone with us to get her on camera, but she has us in absolute stitches some night with her antics. But everyone loves her that meets her. Everyone wants to talk to her when we're out and about, and she absolutely loves everyone as well. She is such a wonderful dog to have, and she's brought us so much joy and happiness and just so much laughter as well. Now she wants to play with the ball. She's given up on moo cow and wants to play with her soccer ball. The interesting thing is she's been watching me kick the ball around, and she now tries to mimic it with her feet as well. She tries kicking it around with her. She is such a smart little cookie. And we don't think it's going to take her long to work out some things that we really don't want her working out. So we really have to be careful. Last time I showed you her, we had this big fence across here to keep her in that backyard. And someone watched hubby and I climb over this fence often enough, watched the scrub turkey go over the top of the fence often enough. And one day we got home and discovered that she had worked out how to climb over the fence. And she was in this backyard here, and I had all these pot plants along there, and she just annihilated the whole lot. The thing was though, we have actually put this fence along here that wasn't there when we moved in. Luckily hubby got home before I did and found all the mess, because if I'd come home first she would have had access to that bit of the driveway, and I would hate to have known what would have happened if that had been the case. So thankfully hubby got home first and was able to get her back into the backyard, and then we fixed it up so she could have the whole yard to run around in. One of the reasons we were so worried about her having the whole yard, some of the fence line along the back here wasn't very good. In fact, the fence over there had toppled over so much it was actually leaning on the shed out the back, so hubby fixed all of that up. And we were also worried that she could actually get through this fencing along here when we come up really close to it. You can see it's actually got quite big holes in the fencing, so we've put all chicken wire along there because she could actually squish through it. But she absolutely loves having this whole backyard, and sometimes we come home and we can't find her because she's sat in there somewhere exploring. While we're up this end of the garden, I'll show you the new trolley that I picked up earlier this week. Here it is. It's this awesome, it's a metal trolley. It holds about 350 kilos apparently. I'm not going to pull it all the way out because it's a little bit difficult for me to currently get it back up over the lip, but we'll work something out with that. We're going to put like a little ramp or something to make it easier. But we've now been able to put all of our firewood and kindling in here, and we'll just be able to pull this out when we're ready and take it down to the fire pit down there. All this firewood that we've got in here at the moment, we've only, since being in here, we've only actually bought, I think it's 3 bags of firewood that we've actually bought, and one of them's still sitting in the shed unused, because a lot of this wood that we're getting, we're actually getting from out of our little forest over here, and all of the wood that is currently in that cart at the moment, we came home one day and found this big 5-meter long branch which has come off one of the gum trees in here lying on the floor. So hubby went and bought a little mini chainsaw because it was just so big, and he chopped it all up, and that's what we've been using for firewood. There is actually another branch along there, that's another branch that's come down. All this leaf matter down here was what we actually chopped off it, because you can't burn the eucalypt leaves, they make an absolute mess. But we've got other branches in there which have all fallen down. We're just waiting for this really dark one here, that's another big fallen branch, so we're just waiting for the leaves to die off on that, and then we'll be able to chop that one down as well. But we basically go for big walks down here and go and see what we can find. I often come down into this bit of the garden. Hubby's been working really hard. There's actually a proper steps and stuff in here, and he's been working really hard to try and get this cleared up to make it a bit more accessible for us. Not sure what we would do down here, but it is nice to have this area, and quite often I have come down here and just found big branches of the trees in our little forest. And then we just go and chop them up. You can see down there, let's see if we can zoom in. You can see we've got our little creek, and we found the bridge, so he worked really hard to get all of this sort of area down here all cleared up so we could get a little bit of access to it, and especially when our nephews come around so they can go in and have a little bit of an explore. But you can see we've got plenty of firewood in here, especially down the bottom there. It's just a matter of actually hauling it up this hill. Miss Peppa's not allowed in this bit yet. We don't feel that she is quite obedient enough. She does come and stuff like that, but she can get a little bit excited. And one of the problems is that this bit of land in here, you can see our fence comes so far down here, and then it kind of just stops, and then there's no fence line going the rest of the way down. So she's actually got access into the neighbour's yard from that side, and we're just not quite at the point where I trust her enough to stay with me and not run off. Alright, Miss Peppa's managed to find herself a stick here. Eventually we will let her in that area, but as I said, she's only actually 5 months old, so she's doing remarkably well for a 5-month-old puppy. I tend to forget how old she is. I think she should be a lot older. It feels like she's just fit in with us so well. It feels like we should have had her for, you know, so much longer than the couple of months we have. But I'm sure in a few months' time we will have even more training, and she'll be able to come down there with us and have a good old explore, because she loves exploring in this bit of the garden. Often we just lose her up here, and then all of a sudden you hear the trees move, and then she comes pouncing out. It does look like she's been attacking the bromeliads today, which is okay because I actually want to pull them all out. So, but it does mean that I'm not going to be able to plant anything until she is over her little land shark sort of phase and we become a more subdued dog. But we're going to head into the house now. I'm going to do a little bit of work before hubby actually comes home. We've got a few things. I need to do some photos over the next couple of days. I need to start taking photographs of what Halloween stuff that I do have. Got a couple of new products I want to load onto the website as well. So Madam and I, she's just found the tripod. Madam and I are going to head into the house and go and do a little bit of work in there. Come on. So we're going to come into our lovely clean office space. I actually cracked it a couple of weeks ago, and with the help of hubby we managed to get this room all nice and cleaned up. It's not where I want it to be. I need a new desk and stuff like that, but it's just going to have to wait until things are until the bank accounts have started to build up again, shall we say. But this will do for now. When we first moved in here, a lot of boxes just got put in here that were for this room and the room next door. And in this wardrobe, there was like this
it was like a hutch off the top of a desktop, and it was kind of just tucked into, let's see if we can get this open. It was kind of tucked into this corner, and then there was a big normal wardrobe shelf on the top, and I really couldn't get much in here. It was all just getting stacked on top of each other, and then I had all these boxes sitting here, and I couldn't get any of that stuff into my wardrobe. And there was this thing, I was trying to do my work, I was trying to do my Patreon work, I was trying to get videos edited, and every time I sat in this room, I was just getting so overwhelmed. I'd sit at the computer thinking, okay, we're going to edit this video. It's like, oh God, those boxes are really annoying me. I need to empty them. I need to put stuff away. And I just wasn't getting anything done. So a couple of weeks ago, I tried doing some work on the Monday, really didn't get much done. And then I said to hubby on Tuesday, I have to sort this room out. I've got so much work I need to do, but I can't do it while this room is the mess that it is. So we took out this unit that was sitting in here. We took that down to the tip. We took out the top shelf in the wardrobe as well, and then I had all the spare Ivar shelving from the shop. So I had all the really tall shelf legs, and then I had a couple of the bigger shelves left, and then I had tons of these smaller shelves left over as well. So I basically just started to put the shelving together and got everything in here. So I've got all my sewing, I've got my craft stuff. Behind here is all the laser etching stuff, and at the other end of the wardrobe is all the office stuff, so like the paper, bits I actually need down at the shop, like the FPOS rolls and stuff like that I don't want down at the shop at the moment because they're excess. And then we've got like all the Halloween shop decorations up the top as well as across the bottom. So everything that was on the floor in this room, I managed to get put away on that Tuesday. And then the following Monday, I was able to sit in this room with it being nice and clean, and I got so much work done last Monday. So I'm hoping that this Monday will be exactly the same if this one behaves. Now there are still a couple of boxes over here. The bottom box is my paper shred. It stays in this room because it is paper shred. It's like an ideal place for rats and mice to get into, so I don't want to put it outside in my she shed, so I keep it in here. And in that top box there, I've got all these play pit balls, and I'm just waiting for Halloween to come so we can actually create a bubble bath with them. I'm really excited for that. So these boxes won't be here for much longer. But as I said, that big one down the bottom, I keep that in here because I don't want rats and mice getting into all the paper shred and making a really nice nest. And then for those of you that caught the house vlog, this is my other room that I work in that hubby said I could have, and I've kind of haven't got my big reading chair again because we're waiting for the bank accounts to recover a little bit. But once they do, I'm going to get myself a really nice big reading chair because Miss Peppa has actually claimed that chair for herself. She loves chairs, and she will sit on any chair that she can find. But I have set up my sewing table in here, and it's just been so nice to come home in the afternoons and just sit here and do a little bit of sewing. I have been working on a few Halloween scrunchies as well as a few Halloween clip balms as well, but it's just been so nice to sit here and look out over all of that and listen to the birds, and just such a beautiful setting to sit and sew. And then I've got like my cutting table. I told hubby to put the ironing board in here. Usually he sets the ironing board up in the spare bedroom and he's really cramped while he does his ironing, so I said set it up in here. It can stay up here permanently. I'll use it with my sewing. Yes, we have 2 irons. That is the clothes iron, and that is my sewing iron, and that comes from my dad yelling at me when I was a kid because I had got iron-on Pelham stuff all over the iron and ironing board, and then he ironed his uniform and he got it all over his uniform. So now I always have a craft iron and a clothes iron. So we do use this room to do the ironing and stuff. That is actually my cutting table, and then it becomes my photography table as well. So this weekend we're going to be doing a bit of, or well, my weekend, I'm going to be doing some photography of all of our Halloween stuff. So later on today I'll actually clear this off, or probably tomorrow, clear it off, get all the backdrops out, and we'll start taking photos of the Halloween stuff ready to go up on the website. My aim, I'm really hoping, and maybe by saying it on here it will happen, my aim is to take photographs of all the Halloween stuff today and tomorrow, and then get them onto the website as a pre-launch to my Pamper Club members, so they can actually pre-order stuff, and when the actual release date happens, I can then send it out, because some of the stuff I just don't have the labels and things for at the moment, but I will have them by the time we get to pre-launch or to the launch date. So that is my sort of goal for today. So rather than actually yakking anymore, I'm going to go and sit down on the computer, go and get a bit of work done, and hubby will be home about 4:30. And then on Monday, I've got a few things actually planned. Hubby starts work early on a Monday, so I'll be able to get heaps done in the morning. I do also finally, hopefully, have the Miele man coming around to fix this steam oven. Yes, the same steam oven I said in the last vlog that was broken and was waiting for the maintenance, or for the guy to come and fix it. It still isn't fixed. That's a long story. We'll do that tomorrow. For now, I'm going to go and do a little bit of work. We're not going to get much work done. You. I'm busy working on editing the vlog at the moment, and it's just suddenly occurred to me that I haven't seen or heard Miss Peppa for about 30 minutes. It's like, where has she gone? Usually when she goes really, really quiet, she is up to some sort of mischief. So I've just come to have a look for her, and this is what I mean. She has stolen my reading chair. What are you doing in here, darling? Hey, is this your chair? Hey, is this your chair? Is it? Now I know where she is. I can go and do some more work. Alright, so Miss Peppa here, we've just had a big play outside, and as you saw, she stacked it. We laughed at her, and then she decided the punishment for us laughing at her was that she was going to go and find a stinky bird poo and roll in it. So I've already had my morning shower, so I've just had to have another one with her because she doesn't like being bathed under the hose. We like the nice warm shower. And now it looks like she's just going to have a big play attack again. We do actually need to replace this sofa between Lucy and Rolly. It has pretty much been destroyed. I did actually have to sew a hole up in this before we moved. We were going to buy a brand new sofa when we moved, and then we just kind of figured, well, with everything else, let's just leave it until it's completely had it. And I'm so glad we did, because this one just bounces around on it like it's a bouncy castle. And she has, since the first day we bought her home, she decided that this sofa was her playground, and there's nothing we could do to stop her from jumping on it. So yeah, she is one crazy puppy. So as much as I would love to sit and watch her bounce around like a loon all morning, we've got work to do. I've got to go and set up the camera stuff, the photography stuff. Ow! And then we're going to take some photos. I went to do it last night, but the cloud cover came in and I wasn't getting very good lighting in that front room, so I thought we'd wait until today. It's not even 6:30 at the moment. It's just before 6:30. I'm just waiting for the sun to actually come up. I'll get it all set up and prepared. I am waiting for the melee man to come around today, and hopefully at long last we'll get this steam oven fixed. I think it was in the vlog when we moved into this house, and I said that we discovered that the steam oven was broken. I called Melee probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago now to get it fixed, and I'm still waiting. He came out to have a look at it, decided it was broken. I told him it was broken, it wasn't working. He ordered the part, called up sick again, then came out. He got the part in. It wasn't looking like it was working because he hadn't read the instructions on how to put it in properly. And once he did, it started to work. And then it decided it still wasn't going to work, because we think what's happened is the people who had the house before us, who did up the kitchen, they've put this steam oven in, and we think they've literally used it twice at the absolute maximum. So because they've used it that once, and it's had water sitting in the drain, like in the drain system, which are all plastic piping, the water has kind of really dried out in these pipings and then collapsed all the piping work. So now we need new piping in this oven as well. So he ordered this new piping, and he turned up last week and he went, "Oh, they've sent me the wrong one." And it's like, oh, okay, seriously? So now I have to wait until this week, and hopefully he's going to come out with the right piping, and I'm finally going to have a steam oven that works. And the reason we're going through all of this is because of the pure cost of what this steam oven is. We had to look at how much it would be to buy brand new, and we're looking at over $4,500 to buy a brand new oven. So we're kind of persisting with it and paying the price. It's going to be less than $1,000 to get it fixed, but otherwise I've got a really expensive hole in the wall that I can't use. So yeah, just persevering, and hopefully today this steam oven will be fixed and I'll be able to have steam buns for lunch while hubby's at work. Anyhow, I'm going to leave Miss Peppa playing here, and we're going to go and set up our photography area.
Hey, what are you doing?
so I've got this set up as best as I can. I actually need to get some sort of, I'm thinking some tablecloth weights to actually hold these curly bits down for me. I've gone for my nice dark black backdrops here. I'm gonna go and find some Halloween props, and then we're gonna see about taking some of these photos. See, I am trying to set up the Halloween photographs, but I am so angry right at this very moment that I am struggling to actually concentrate. I have just had a text message from off this technician for Miele telling me this part hasn't arrived for this oven. I am so cross and angry, and it's not the fact that the part hasn't arrived. When he came last Monday, he said to me, I'll order it, and if it's not here by Friday, I will let you know. Now, I didn't get a message on Friday. Fair enough, maybe I should have messaged him and said, hey, has the part arrived? But he didn't message me, so I've just thought this part has actually arrived and he is going to turn up. He's just messaged me 7:30 in the morning to say that the part hasn't arrived, and he's messaged parts to find out how much longer it's going to be. It's just like, dude, I've got better things to be doing than sitting around all morning waiting between a 3-hour gap of when you may or may not arrive to the house to fix my oven. Because it's not one of those things, I will be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. It is, I'll be there between 8 and 11 o'clock to come and fix the oven. So you've got to actually put that entire 3 hours aside. And not only those 3 hours, if he turns up at 11 o'clock, you've then got to actually factor time in past then. So basically, the whole day has to revolve around this person coming to fix the oven. Oh, I am so angry right now. I basically looked at his message and I went to reply, and I thought, no, I can't reply to him right now. So I put the phone down out in the box, darling, put the phone down. I went away for 10 minutes. I went and just did some other stuff. And then I actually wrote back to him and said, thank you for letting me know, but I had actually expected you to let me know on Friday per our last conversation so I could organise my day. I'm like, is that really so unreasonable to ask from people? Like, to follow through with what you say you're going to do? Leave my witchy alone. I am just so cross right now, because I get it, I'm not his only customer, but at least have some respect for the customers that you do have. I mean, at the moment, I can understand it would be frustrating for him as well, because at the moment I haven't paid a single thing, and he has been out to our house. He's cancelled on me 3 times, and he's been out to the house 4 times. So 7 times, for 7 appointments I have had with him. And just, I'm going to take these photographs because I'm going to cry in a bit. I was so looking forward to having steamed buns for lunch last week, and then it didn't happen. And then I said to my husband, I'm going to have my steamed buns for lunch this week. And I've got out a really nice slow cooked piece of pickled pork that I've got to do, or corned beef, I think it actually is this time, to cook. And I was going to do nice steamed vegetables and all this stuff. And it's like, no, that's not what we're doing today. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm so over it. And the really frustrating thing is, I think there is only one Miele service technician for the whole of the Sunshine Coast, and I can only be here on Mondays for him, because the only days he works in the area is Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I am not closing my shop on a Wednesday and Friday for him to mess me around again. Anyhow, I'm getting really cross about it. So I need to take these photographs and just try and calm down because I am just over it. When we've had problems with Westinghouse in the past, I've never been messed around this much. For what you pay for Miele products, the service should be so much better than this. It really should. I'm not going to go into it anymore. I'm going to do these photographs. Alright, I have realised something today, and I'm not going back out the house because of it. I am having a low tolerance day. I haven't had one for a long time, and now that I'm realising I'm having this low tolerance, I'm not going back out the house because I will not be a nice person if I do. What do I mean by low tolerance? I haven't had one of these for a long time. Basically, everything out there, everything outside of these four walls is just going to annoy me for the day. So we're not going out. So I'm taking my photographs, and I've got a couple which are based off that trick-or-treat sort of sweet smell. So I decided I wanted to go and get some lollies to do the photo shoot with. So I've got some snakes and teeth and stuff in there. So I decided I would go and get my lollies now, because you know it was just before 9 o'clock. I thought I'll go and get the lollies, and while I'm at it, I'll take the 2 orders that I've got, I'll take them down to the post office and we'll get those posted off. And while I'm there, I'll also fill up the car with fuel. I had about 1/4 of a tank. I thought I'll just fill it up now while the petrol's actually, or the diesel's quite cheap at the moment. So I thought, right, we'll do that and it'll be a round trip. So we've got home, I've got the post office, the service station, the IGA, and back to home again. So I head off, and I thought, first stop, post office. Now, when we first moved into this house, I double checked the hours of our local post office because they're all different. All throughout the area, they all have different hours depending upon where they're located. And I checked the hours of this post office for those days that I might get delayed from leaving the shop or might not be able to get to the post office in time. I wanted to see what time they opened for me to be able to drop parcels off in the morning. And I saw that they opened at 8:30 in the morning, which I thought, brilliant, I can drop parcels off if I'm running late. So I've headed down to the post office, and I get there at about, I think it was 9:52 or something on my dashboard, and I've gone to go in. The doors aren't open. All the signs and everything are out the front of the post office, but the doors aren't open. And there's a woman shaking her head at me. I'm thinking, well, it's gone 8:30. Why aren't you open? So I've Googled it, and they've changed their hours to 9 o'clock. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. So here I am standing with 6 or 7 kilos worth of parcels. I'm thinking, well, what do I do? Like, do I just jump in the car and go and fill up with petrol, which is literally, this post office is here. There's a little road and the service station. So they're right next door to each other. And I looked at the service station, and it is packed because this is a little country service station. There's 4 pumps, so two on this side, 2 on this side. Both of those are full. There's another 2 cars behind each of those 2 rows. And I'm thinking, this is not a good morning. This is just not going to be a good morning. Do you know what? I'm just going over, and as I went to go over, one of those cars did pull away. So I went and lined up in there. And luckily, I only sat there for, I must have been 20 seconds or so, 20 or 30 seconds, and the front 2 cars went. So we got to pull in, filled up, went back to the post office. And at this point, I've still got 2 minutes before the post office opens. It's like, oh, come on. And then she opened the door, and before I could get out of the car, there's 2 other people who jumped through the door. It's like, right. And because on this occasion I didn't just need to drop off the parcels, I needed to buy new postal satchels. I had to wait in line. Usually if I've just got the parcels I can put them on the counter and go, but no, I needed these satchels. So I've waited in line for my satchels, and then she's looked at me and I said what I needed. She goes, oh, I don't know if we got that many. So okay, and she goes out, comes back, rings them up. They've gone up in price again. Rings them up, and I said, do you want to scan my business things? And she registers on my account. Oh, I have to do that first. It's like, well, I already had, when she came back out with these satchels, I already had my phone there with the QR code to scan my account. So if she'd been paying attention, she would have been able to scan it. So she scanned it, rang it all back up again. I paid for it. I said, can I have the receipt? She's just looked at me. I said, it's for business. Can I have the receipt, please? Like, it's a tax claim. Come on. So she's given me this receipt, and I'm thinking, I need to go home, but I need to go to the IGA first. So I've come out, and as you come back up to the IGA, so your IGA is on this side as we're driving, there's a little side street that you can go down to get to one of the side doors to the IGA and also get to the back car park. And then if you go down just a little bit on the other side of that, like the IGA is on that corner block, and as you go down there's another driveway which takes you into the main car park. So I've gone past the little side street, and then I've come up to the drive, and it's all cordoned off. It's like, could you not have put a sign to say the driveway was shut and to take that first bit of road? It's like, okay, because this IGA is it's only a little IGA at the moment, but it's actually getting an upgrade into a super IGA, so it's going to be a much bigger store. And they're almost there. They've actually started you can see into the back of the store now. You can see all the shelves starting to pack up. So there is a lot of road work, there is a lot of work going on down there, but it's still manageable to get in and out of. So it's like, get up to this driveway and it's all blocked off. So right, I'm gonna have to go around the block to get back into the back of the car park. So I've gone around, got into the car park, got out, and as I've walked out, this IGA, it's got an entrance from this side and an entrance from this side, and the main car park is on this side. This side's entrance is actually blocked off, so you can't get in. So then you have to walk all the way around to the IGA to get into the main door or into the other door. And then when you finish, you have to come out with your heavy bags and walk all the way back around to get back into the car park. And it's like, I'm not dealing with this today. I'm going home, and they're all stupid little things, but it's just one of those days that everything's just going to annoy me. And when I'm in one of those moods, it is just best that I stay home and I do stuff like this, and I don't go and interact with people. So hopefully by the time hubby comes home, I will be in a better mood. It's funny, I have to laugh about it. I know that even though I know that it's frustrating me, I just cannot stop how those little stupid things just frustrate me, and I just have to. Some days I can go out, it's like, oh, okay, whatever, let's just go, and it doesn't bother me, and there's other days it just really does bother me, and today is one of those days. So I can recognize the signs of when stuff is going to bother me, and I then just try and manage it a little bit better so that no one else has to put up with it. But as I said, I've not had a day like this for ever such a long time. So it's like, we'll just work our way through it. I'm going to keep taking my photos. I'm going to make good use of the lollies that I went out to go and get. And then once I've got all these photos done up, I'll have to go and edit them, and then I want to try and get them up on the website ready for my Pamper Club members to be able to pre-order Halloween from tomorrow. So I'm going to get on with doing that. But that is pretty much it. I'm not going to do too much more recording because it's going to distract me from doing my work. We're not going to get much done. and it appears I'm in a whingy day, so I won't bore you with all of that. But thank you so much for coming along with me on this month's vlog. Let me know what you think about those two soaping camera angles that I tried, which one you actually prefer, and then I will try working on them from there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. From what I've seen of what footage I've edited so far, it's not been too bad with the actual being able to film a vlog in the shop. Some of the footage I have actually got the door open, and although you can hear all that car noise and stuff, it's not too bad. So yeah, let me know what you think, and then we'll continue doing these vlogs as well. But thank you so much for coming along with me, for listening to me rant and rave for the last couple of days. If you did enjoy it, why not leave me a thumbs up, any comments down below, and until the next video, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you then. Bye.